Good morning. If you've ever heard me pray a prayer of blessing, a table blessing, you know that I am so often just led to pray something along the lines of, Lord, just as much as you enjoy being with your friends around the table, be with us around the table. Help us to experience your presence and your joy during this meal. And I pray that, and I really am just led to pray that. It is a prayer of my heart because I think that Jesus was one who, whenever he was with his friends, laughter and joy was just there and was just contagious. Imagine Jesus at the wedding where he turns the water into wine and how much joy is just flowing in that time, in that setting. Or at another party that he was at where there were all these people who used to be lepers and used to be crippled and used to be blind or used to be trapped in some kind of sin or another, and Jesus had set them free. How much joy would have just been wonderfully flowing there at that party. Well, last night was a meal like that for me and my family. It was my birthday, and as a just tremendous surprise, our elders and our deacons found a way to provide us with a birthday meal, a wonderful meal of salmon and homemade cornbread and cake and ice cream. Lee and Sarah were kind of in on the plot. They knew about it, but David and I had no idea. We were out in the yard working. David's working on a raised garden, and I was helping him with that a little bit, and this car drives up, and it was Janet Black, and she was bringing this wonderful, wonderful meal to us. And we celebrated together my birthday and had this wonderful meal, and Christ really was with us, I'm just convinced. And after the meal, David went back out to work on his garden, and Sarah and Lee and I began talking about the fact that we now have a much more strict shelter-in-place law that has just gone through, or directive here in Tennessee, and also the same for Georgia. We may not be able to record the service on Sunday the way we've done the last couple Sundays at the church. Our recording studio may be reduced down to my house, and we were talking about what are we going to do and how might they be able to help us, and we were talking about music, and one thing kind of led to another, and we started talking about hymns and what would be the appropriate coronavirus hymns. What would Jesus sing during this time? And we were a little bit silly, and we came up with one that we just loved, and I said, let me get out the camera and let's record this. And so I'm going to offer this to you as a bit of joy in this day, but also as a reminder that as you are sheltering in place, whether you're sheltering in place by yourself because no one lives with you, or you're sheltering in place with your family or with others, know that when you sit down for a meal, or even when you're just going about your day, Jesus is with you. And Jesus is offering peace and help and ease and comfort during this time of stress, but also offering joy. And so please hear this and watch this and enjoy this, and know that we do not intend this to be sacrilegious. In fact, quite the opposite. We intend this to be an example perhaps of how Jesus is with us during a time of difficulty and stress, and can maybe even bring us joy. And so I offer to you, softly and tenderly, Jesus is calling you to stay home.
Watching for you and for me. Stay home, stay home. Ye who are weary, stay home. Earnestly, tenderly, Jesus is calling, calling, oh sinner, stay home. Why should we travel when Jesus is pleading, pleading for you and for me? Why should we go out and heed not his warnings, warnings for you and for me? Stay home, stay home, stay home. Ye who are weary, stay home. Earnestly, tenderly, Jesus is calling, calling, oh sinner, stay home.
I want you to know God is with you. Amen.